It's Ruth at Artful Stamping with a bit of a close-up view of how I made the samples for On Stage 2016. I was asked to focus on the 5 individual colours that are going to be available from the 1st of June. And so to show off each colour, I decided that I'd make some samples with various sort of layers of different texture to show how the colours kind of withstood, you know, a bit of sponging and some stamping, as well as then mounting them onto the cardstock, the matching cardstock. So this set here, were all done on the shimmering cardstock, and they all use a very, very similar masking technique. So I specifically chose the various floral stamps because I wanted ones that had a little bit of detail within them that actually were just beautiful as they were. They didn't necessarily need colouring in, and so often with stamp sets like this people just immediately just start colouring them in. But I really wanted to show off the black and white imagery that was there. Now I have to confess though, I put a little bit of Peekaboo Peach in the centre of this flower, and I kind of regret doing it actually, but anyway, it seems to work. It's just a nice little contrast having that against the white. So in order to do this technique, I stamped with black StazOn onto the shimmer cardstock, and then got the, I'm reaching for it now, the fine tip glue pen, and I very carefully filled in all the areas of the flowers. Now I have to confess, if you can look really closely, you can see where I smudged it a little bit there, but it doesn't look too bad, as I also decided to blob a few different spots all over just to give a little bit of contrast in the midst of all the inking and stamping that I knew that I was going to be doing. So here's the gorgeous flower from the Birthday Bouquet stamp set, and it just looks lovely against the really dark dapper denim. The stamp set that I used for this one is Timeless Textures. There we go. And this is Birthday Blossoms. Yes, I always get this muddled up. There's so many similar naming stamp sets, I have to be really careful. This is Birthday Blossoms, and that imagery from there. And then in the background I've got Garden in Bloom and a little butterfly from there, and then some of the sheltering tree there. So this flower again comes from the Birthday Bouquet stamp set. It's the single individual one. And then I stamped with the dots from Kinda Eclectic, and then some of the other polka dots from Timeless Textures. And I just stamped a little bit of the sort of speckledy effect. And the idea was that it was almost like pollen was sort of drifting off in the breeze, really, because there was I put some little white spots of the, not white, sorry, they look white because the fine tip glue pen dries clear, but it's the shimmer of the white shimmer cardstock showing through the masking. That's the effect that you get there. So this is the really gorgeous flower stamp from Butterfly Basics, which is just, it's so beautifully designed and created that it just really shows it off to its best, by then putting a little bit of the colour behind it to really make it stand out. So again, just use the fine tip glue pen, masked it off, and I did leave them for about a day, so overnight, before I then started sponging. I really wanted to make sure that this was nice and dry. I then actually just made sure with a sponge I kind of cleaned off any ink that was sort of over the top of it, and it just comes off quite easily. So this is the last one. This is Emerald Envy, and here you can see I've stamped with the Petite Petals stamp set, and then used the fern leaves and from oh, the name escapes me, from Awesomely Artistic. Sorry about that. I've had so many names and stamp sets in my head these last few weeks. And the floral image here, I was second generation stamping, so I inked it up, stamped off, then stamped on top to get that faded out kind of look, and then did first generation stamping with the ferns, and then got a sponge in there, and then just kind of worked a little bit of the colour into the background. It's just so that the flowers would really pop out and really show up, which kind of do. Then the speckledy little stamp from Timeless Textures, which I just seem to be using on everything at the moment because it's just so versatile. Anyway, I hope that that was a helpful insight into how I created the samples. And if you want to see close-up versions of these, then please head to my blog artfulstampin.co.uk because there'll be some nice photographs on there. Thank you for joining me today and take care.